You ever wake up in the morning and feel it? That quiet weight sitting on your chest. Nothing is technically wrong, but something doesn't feel right either. Like you're doing all the things you're supposed to do, working, trying, pushing, hoping, and still, life just isn't clicking the way you imagined it would. Maybe you've asked yourself, why does it feel so hard? Or even deeper, what am I doing wrong? And here's the truth most people never tell you. It's not that you're doing life wrong. It's that you've been taught to think in a way that keeps you stuck. Because what if I told you? The life you're living right now didn't just happen randomly. What if it's connected directly to the words you repeat, the thoughts you entertain, and the beliefs you've accepted as truth? Take a moment and really sit with that. Every day, without even noticing, you are speaking something into existence. Sometimes it sounds like, nothing ever works out for me, or I'm always behind, or I don't have enough. And the mind, it listens, the universe. It responds, not to what you want, but to what you consistently declare. So if your words are filled with doubt, fear, and limitation, your reality starts to mirror that energy right back to you. But here's the shift, and it's a powerful one. The same way your words have been creating lack, they can start creating abundance. The same mind that's been replaying fear can be trained to expect miracles. The same energy that's been attracting struggle can begin to magnetize opportunity, alignment, and flow. And no, this isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about understanding that there's a deeper intelligence guiding your life. A timing, a rhythm, something bigger than your current circumstances. Think about it like this. A seed doesn't question why it's buried in darkness. It doesn't panic. It doesn't compare itself to other seeds. It trusts. It grows quietly beneath the surface until one day it breaks through. And right now, that might be you. You might feel buried, delayed, overlooked. But what if this season isn't punishment? It's preparation. What if things aren't falling apart? They're falling into place in a way you just can't see yet. Because the moment you begin to shift your inner dialogue, everything outside of you starts rearranging. New people show up, unexpected doors open, opportunities find you, not because you chased them, but because you became aligned with them. So today, right here, in this moment, you're not just listening to words. You're stepping into a new way of thinking, a new way of speaking, a new way of being. And if you stay with me, if you allow yourself to really absorb this, you'll start to feel something shift. Not someday, but today. Breaking the cycle of fear, it doesn't happen all at once. It happens in a moment. A quiet, almost invisible decision you make with yourself. Because fear, most of the time, isn't loud. It doesn't always scream. Sometimes it whispers. It sounds like, wait a little longer. You're not ready yet. What if it doesn't work? And the scary part is, it feels logical, it feels safe. But let me ask you something. How many opportunities have you delayed? Not because you couldn't do them, but because something inside you hesitated. Maybe it was applying for that job you actually wanted. But you told yourself, they probably won't pick me anyway. Maybe it was starting something of your own. A channel, a business, a new path. And you kept waiting for the perfect time that never really came. That's not laziness. That's not lack of ability. That's a subconscious pattern, built over years. See, most of what you believe about yourself didn't start with you. It came from moments, comments, experiences. A teacher who made you feel like you weren't smart enough. A failure that hit harder than expected. A comparison that quietly told you, you're behind. And over time, those moments didn't just pass. They stayed. They became part of your internal script. So now, even when opportunity shows up, your mind runs an old program. And here's the shift: you don't break fear by fighting it. You break it by seeing it clearly and choosing differently anyway. It's like this guy, early 30s, working a stable job in Chicago. On paper, everything looked fine. Salary, routine, security. But every morning, he felt this weight. Like he was living someone else's life. He had this idea, something creative, something risky, something that actually lit him up, but for 2 years, he did nothing. Why? Because the voice in his head kept saying, "Don't mess this up. You're lucky to have what you have." Until one day, he caught it. Not the idea. The voice. He realized. That voice wasn't truth. It was fear, dressed as responsibility, and that changed everything. He didn't quit his job overnight. He didn't make some dramatic leap. He just started small. Consistent steps. After work, on weekends. Showing up for something that felt aligned. And slowly, things began to shift. Not just outside, but inside. Confidence replaced hesitation. Clarity replaced confusion. Because the moment you stop obeying fear, you start reclaiming your power. And now, let's go deeper. Because this connects directly to something most people completely overlook. The invisible power of your words. You see, your mind is always listening, always learning. And the words you repeat, especially the ones you don't even notice, they become instructions. If every day you're saying things like, "I'm tired," "I'm stressed," nothing ever works out. Your mind doesn't question it. It accepts it. And then it looks for ways to prove it true. That's how powerful this is. It's not just mindset. It's programming. Think about someone who wakes up every morning already expecting the day to go wrong. Traffic will be bad. Work will be stressful. People will disappoint them. And guess what? That's exactly what they experience. Not because the world is against them, but because their focus is filtering reality. Now flip that. There was a woman in California, juggling 2 jobs, barely making ends meet, constantly overwhelmed. And for the longest time, her language reflected that struggle. "I can't catch a break. I'm always behind." Until one day, she decided to experiment. Nothing dramatic, just her words. Every morning, even when it felt fake, she started saying, "Things are working out for me. Opportunities are finding me. I am supported." At first, nothing changed. Same job, same stress, same routine. But internally, something softened. She felt a little less heavy, a little more open. And then, small shifts started happening. A better shift opened up at work. Simone recommended her for a new role. Unexpected help showed up, right when she needed it. Was it magic? No, it was alignment. Because when you change the language you use, you change the way you see. And when you change the way you see, you start to act differently, respond differently, notice differently. And that changes everything. So right now, just become aware. What are you saying when no one's listening? Because those words, they're not just passing thoughts. They're shaping your identity. They're setting your direction. They're quietly building your future, one sentence at a time. And the moment you realize that, you stop speaking carelessly. You start choosing words that support you, strengthen you, move you forward. And that's where real transformation begins. Not outside. Trusting divine timing, this is where most people struggle the most. Not because they don't believe, but because they're tired of waiting. Because let's be real, when life feels delayed, it doesn't feel spiritual. It feels frustrating, confusing, sometimes even unfair. You look around, and it seems like everyone else is moving forward. Getting the job, the relationship, the breakthrough. And you're sitting there wondering, when is it my turn? And that question, it can slowly turn into doubt. Maybe I missed my chance. Maybe I'm too late. Maybe it's just not meant for me. But what if the delay you're experiencing isn't rejection? What if it's alignment? See, timing isn't just about when something happens. It's about who you are when it happens. Because the truth is, if certain opportunities had come earlier, you wouldn't have been ready to hold them. Not mentally, not emotionally, not energetically. Think about it like this. There was a woman in New York, early 20s, ambitious, driven, chasing success hard. She wanted everything fast. Career growth, recognition, financial freedom. And she was talented. No doubt about it. But every time she got close to a big opportunity, something fell through. An interview that went perfect. No callback. A promotion she worked for, given to someone else. A project she believed in, suddenly canceled. And after a while, she started taking it personally. She thought she was failing, but what she didn't realize was, she was still operating from pressure, from proving herself, from fear of not being enough. So life slowed her down, not to punish her, but to prepare her. Over the next couple of years, she worked on herself, her confidence, her clarity, her sense of worth, not tied to outcomes, but rooted within. And when the next opportunity came, it didn't just match her skills, it matched who she had become. She didn't chase it, she didn't force it, it aligned. That's divine timing. It's not about making you wait for no reason. It's about making sure that when it arrives, you're not the same person who once doubted it. So if you feel delayed right now, don't rush to label it as failure. Ask yourself, what is this season building in me? Because something is shifting, even if you can't see it yet. And while you're in that space, this is where the next shift becomes critical. Moving into an abundance and prosperity mindset. Because here's what happens. When life feels delayed, people often fall into scarcity without realizing it. They start thinking, there aren't enough opportunities. Everyone else is ahead. I have to compete just to survive. And that energy, it contracts you. It makes you hold tighter, think smaller, play safe. But abundance doesn't work like that. Abundance is expansive. It says, there is more than enough. More opportunities, more success, more paths. You're not fighting for a limited spot. You're aligning with what's already available. Think about someone working a 9 to -5 in Texas. Feeling stuck, underpaid, underappreciated. Every day feels the same, and over time, they start believing, this is it, this is all there is. That belief becomes their ceiling. Because when you believe there's no way out, you stop looking for one. But the moment that belief shifts, even slightly, everything opens. Maybe they start learning a new skill online, maybe they network differently, maybe they finally apply for roles they once thought were out of reach. And suddenly, doors that felt invisible before become visible. Not because they magically appeared, but because the mindset expanded enough to see them. That's prosperity consciousness. It's not just about money, it's about possibility. It's about waking up and knowing. You are not limited by your current situation. You are not defined by what's in your bank account today, or what didn't work yesterday. You are connected to something greater. Something that responds to your belief, your education, your energy. So instead of asking, why is this not happening? Start asking, what am I available for now? Because abundance flows where there is openness, not fear. And as you begin to trust the timing and expand your mindset, you'll notice something subtle but powerful. You stop chasing life, and life starts meeting you halfway. Opportunities don't feel forced anymore. Decisions feel clearer. And there's a quiet confidence that replaces that constant pressure. Like you finally understand. You're not behind. You're on your path. And it's unfolding exactly when it needs to, becoming a magnet for the right people and opportunities. This is where everything starts to feel different. Not forced, not exhausting, but natural. Because most people spend their lives chasing validation, chasing success, chasing connections, trying to prove something, trying to make things happen faster than they're meant to. And that energy, it feels heavy. You can sense it in conversations, in job interviews, even in relationships. It's that subtle feeling of, I need this to work. But here's the shift. What you chase often runs. What you align with stays. So instead of asking, how do I get this? You start asking, who do I need to become to naturally attract this? Because your energy is always communicating before you even say a word. Think about it. Have you ever met someone, and within seconds, you just felt something? Either you felt drawn to them, or something felt off. That's not logic. That's energy. And the same thing applies to opportunities. There was a guy in Los Angeles trying to break into the creative industry. Talented, hardworking, but constantly overlooked. He was sending emails, reaching out, networking nonstop, but nothing was landing. And underneath it all, he was desperate. Not visibly, but internally. Every message carried that pressure. Every interaction had that silent need for approval. Until one day, he stopped. Not his work, but his energy. He shifted his focus from who can give me a chance to how can I show up fully without needing anything back. He started creating content just because he loved it. Connecting with people without expecting outcomes. Showing up with a sense of calm confidence instead of urgency. And slowly, things changed. People started reaching out to him. Opportunities came in without him forcing them. Collaborations happened naturally. Same person, same skills, different energy. That's what it means to become a magnet. You're not pulling things toward you through effort. You're aligning in a way that makes them inevitable. And this leads into something even deeper. Living daily in alignment with your higher self. Because attracting the right life isn't about one big moment. It's about small, consistent choices. It's about who you are when no one is watching. Your higher self isn't some distant version of you that you'll become someday. It's a frequency, a way of thinking, acting, and responding that's available to you right now. And the question becomes, are your daily habits matching the life you say you want? Because you can't expect clarity while feeding confusion. You can't expect growth while staying in environments that drain you. You can't expect alignment while constantly ignoring your inner voice. It's the little things. Waking up and choosing a different thought. Walking away from conversations that don't feel right. Taking action, even when it's uncomfortable, but aligned. There was a woman in Atlanta, juggling work, family, responsibilities, feeling completely disconnected from herself. Every day felt like survival mode, and deep down, she knew something had to change. Not everything at once, just something. So she started small, 10 minutes in the morning. No phone, no noise, just silence. Then she began journaling, getting honest about what she actually felt, what she actually wanted. At first, it felt pointless. But over time, she started noticing patterns. What drained her, what energized her, what she had been ignoring for years. And slowly, her choices began to shift. She set boundaries, she explored new opportunities. She said no, without guilt. And for the first time in a long time, she felt aligned. Not perfect, not finished, but connected. That's the power of living in alignment. It's not about becoming someone new overnight. It's about returning to who you've always been. Without the noise, without the fear, without the conditioning. And when you live like that, you don't have to chase people. You don't have to force opportunities. You don't have to question your worth. Because everything starts reflecting that inner shift. The right people feel right. The wrong ones fall away. Naturally, the opportunities that come feel aligned, not stressful. And there's a calm certainty that replaces that old anxiety. Like you finally trust yourself. Like you finally understand. You're not here to compete, or to prove, or to rush. You're here to align, and from that alignment, everything else flows.